Well, hello there, my Crafters. Thanks for coming by. We're back in Diversity 2 once again today, and we are getting near the end of the series. I'm here with Qwerty. This is the final
Yes.
puzzle, the portal puzzle. This is, I
hmm
think, would you say the most popular one or the
I
favorite
think
one?
this was the most popular one. Everyone loved the portal puzzle.
Except for
It's
the people that got stuck outside in the earlier releases.
yeah, the earlier releases were pretty bad, and we'll get to that when we cover the mechanics, but let's just say there was a change to the game code right before release that was just
Okay, yeah, we'll
yeah.
talk about that when we talk about the commands. But before we go into it, this is the last puzzle, like we said. We're also going to do a bonus episode of some of the like the hint system, some of the Easter eggs and stuff. So that'll be next time. Also, spoilers, because obviously we're going to show you how to do this stuff. Do not watch this until you've played it, and definitely check out the other episodes because we talk about the other puzzles. Without further ado, lead the way, sir.
Onwards.
Look at that beautiful, beautiful thing there. So, first of all, why don't you explain your color scheme here?
Well, the color scheme is essentially based on Portal's color scheme. It's a set of simplistic colors, each of which represents something. So the yellow here, you're taught right when you enter, it represents a door. And you've got the black and the white, obviously, which if you've played Portal, you know what the black and the white is.
Black
Lights,
doesn't do
evenly
nothing.
spaced.
I just did a double negative. Black does nothing.
Black don't do nothing.
White.
But,
oh, and we have orange and blue. Okay.
And these are sort of in the beginning of Portal. You don't actually have the portal gun. You have to use these, which are this actually uses the same arrows as the portal gun, and it just creates portals. And this is an introduction to the portal system before the player can actually get the gun.
And you chose to make it sheep. Why?
Sheep are easily colored.
That is why?
Yeah, then you can make an orange one, and we didn't have armor stands at the time, so I couldn't really do that, and there wasn't any good particle I could use. Plus, players might have particles off, so the easiest way to get two similar things that are orange and blue was to use sheep.
Now, this was built prior to 1.8 release, so some of these commands are a little outdated, but I think you really accomplished something awesome within the 1.7 to 1.8 transition.
Oh yeah, that was a interesting transition, to be sure.
Okay.
Anyway, come on through.
So I'm coming through. Okay, and what we have here is a yellow.
Yes.
You said it was like a door.
Yes.
Okay,
and that's
so
what
we've
this
opened the
letter
door.
does.
Yeah.
Opens the door.
Then we can go back through the portal.
And then I lock you in there.
You lock me in there.
And so this just sort of is a tutorial to the idea that there's different colored portals. They move around, you know, in case anyone hadn't played Portal. And you get the first portal done here. Due to map breakiness, only one person can have the portal gun at a time. There wasn't really any way around that, I'm afraid.
Map breakiness, that's the
map
technical
breakiness, yes.
Okay, so, nice. I was gonna say, had you seen anybody do an unmodded portal type thing that worked this well?
I have seen people do portals before this, but not that works this well. Not the kind of portals where you can place them on the ceiling and the floor and you can go through them freely. I've seen portals, but they've always been either locked in place or they only work on a very specific material, whereas these portals, they work on any material with damage 0.
Right, and we'll go over that when we talk about the commands, how that exactly
keep getting
works.
in the way.
I'm sorry! Put it through there!
So it's a very versatile portal system, and I like it. Although I did make a much improved one later, which I still haven't released, but it's on my channel somewhere.
Yeah, I'll link that video. You did change it from the sheep to particles or something.
Yeah, the particles worked out pretty well. Anyway, this is the orange portal.
Okay, yeah.
Mine.
Hey! I wanted that. Okay, so we have a ladder, yep.
This is a mechanic which we never use again. You can shoot through these holes to get portals in places you couldn't originally.
Oh, and there's a little bit of a countdown there or something. There we go.
Yeah, there's a delay between when you go, because otherwise you just constantly teleport back and forth between both of them.
And then the green means you're at the end of the level, I guess.
Yep.
Okay.
In case you somehow lose your portal gun, this button gives it back to you.
Gives it back to me.
No, it gives it back to me.
Okay.
So,
what's with the acacia stairs? What's the... Just because it's...
I just needed stairs.
Okay.
and that worked best with the color. But yeah, this is a callback to one of the early levels of Portal. This is actually the only level that is taken directly from the game. It's very easy.
Okay. Here we go.
And
now
this level. It's actually pretty easy to skip a bunch of things, but this level is just sort of climbing with portals. It's
Oh, there we go.
nothing too fancy.
Yeah, I think people were really blown away when they saw this because, I mean, people have done it with mods before, but like I said in the past, it was awesome to be releasing a 1.8 map because all this stuff you could do with it, I don't think people had experienced in a map before.
Yeah.
Okay, so down here we have some red sand. What happens?
Well, the red sand is sort of lava. If you touch it, you die. And that was sort of to stop people from getting trapped down there. But originally, this puzzle only had the walls. It didn't have that thing down there because originally it was powered by a fill clock. But it turns out the fill clock was causing just huge amounts of lag. So I had to switch it to a comparator clock, which means it's not as fast and you can't necessarily jump into portals mounted on walls anymore. So
well, I think what we found out was it worked in single player, but on a server there was some issues.
Yeah, it was iffy. And there's nothing more frustrating than that puzzle in particular, because you would place the portal on the wall, and then you wouldn't go through it because of the delay or whatever, and you'd respawn all the way at the bottom of the little pit over there.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating.
Okay.
So this is the first time you actually see the red wall.
It's giant-sized.
Yeah, and you can see on top there's the 3 stained glass, which that's a door, as usual.
Yeah.
And this 3 stained glass corresponds to 3 challenges.
Ooh, I'm standing back.
That you can do in any order you want.
Right. Choice. Love that. Yes. Okay, so we got three yellow stained glass, which signifies the door, as you said.
And as you can see, the red wall is right in there. So I'll do this one first. It's just a trick shot, which...
Yeah, that was really tricky. I know we tested this a number of times to make sure it was possible.
Oh, I just hit myself with an arrow.
That's brilliant. Okay. I love this effect here. When you hit that...
So, flick.
Boom! Love that. Love that.
Yeah. So that's that. Next I'll do this one. You should be able to just jump down from there.
Oh, yeah. Where are you going? Oh, you're going in there. Okay. I'll go with you so we can see. Oh, where'd it go?
Let me put the portal a little further in.
Oh,
there we go.
Didn't take me. Hey.
Alright.
Oh, there we go.
So this is a platform puzzle.
And I like it. I like these because they all have a little bit of a different technique to firing that arrow.
Yeah, because the thing is, there is a difference between these bows and a regular portal gun. In Portal, you can't arc your portals, but you can in this, which is why I did this puzzle, because you have to arc the portals to get on top of it. So you kind of have to think outside the box to solve this one. Of course, it wound up being a little trickier to arc the portals than I anticipated, so it gave a lot of players frustration.
Well, the other thing was with the arrow glitch.
Oh, yeah, the stupid arrow glitch. Basically, when you shoot an arrow at the ceiling, right, like you shoot full power, because most people, they try to shoot at full power first. Yeah. Sometimes the arrow will go back down from the ceiling. Even though it's really embedded in the ceiling, it'll look like it's going back down, and it'll look like it hit, even though it really didn't, because it's embedded in the ceiling. And another one that people sometimes got is you shoot the arrow and it just falls right in front of you, so you can't see where it goes at all.
I originally I thought that was based on a server, but I've had it happen to me on single player. And I'm wondering if that glitch has to do with, or I guess it's a bug, has to do with clocks running. But I'm going to actually link that bug in the description so you guys can vote on it.
Oh, like the Mojira entry?
Yeah.
I still call it Mojira, even though it's not called that anymore.
Oh, it's called Jira.
Jira?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still an active bug that they have.
You know, this isn't half bad time for this puzzle. Usually I take longer.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good with that shot. Oh, there you go.
Alright, there we go. So, here's
get that sound again.
Yeah. And we can either walk back or we can take the fun way back.
Yeah, the fun way. I added those sounds, the sounds there when you hit it, because I wanted to trigger in a memory that was breaking the middle
Yes.
yellow thing there. When you hit the lever.
Over.
Hey. Are we in the right side? Oh yeah, we're over here. Oh, okay. This one. Where are you? Get over here.
Oh, hi. Yeah, this one was originally going to be very different.
Yeah, that's right. This one was about half done when I originally saw you working on it. The first time I saw it, and well, I can't get up. We wanted this to be a falling and shooting puzzle, and I think a couple of YouTubers actually did it that way.
Yeah, took them forever to do it though. But what it turned into is sort of a slide against the wall thing. Because originally there was barriers up there specifically to stop you from doing that, but we realized falling and shooting was just way too hard, so we did that.
Yeah, and I highlighted these entrances here because
yeah,
it was okay, go.
And that way it shows which entrance you have to go to, so you don't accidentally go backwards.
Yeah.
Although some people somehow still manage to go backwards.
We spent so much time trying to tweak this because of the because they changed the way that they work. The thing I don't like is that and I've had people complain about this. Now I know you fixed it on your remake of the puzzle, whatever it was. But the sheep always faces south. You can only teleport the direction the sheep is facing.
With the sheep method, there really wasn't anything I could do about it. The new method I made relies on fill clocks, which I couldn't use because the spawn chunks don't have any room for redstone. And using a fill clock outside of the spawn chunk is just saying bye-bye to your frame. Well, not your frame rate, but your connection, I guess.
Yeah.
So I had to work with what I could with a comparator clock, which means I needed to rely on this.
So the real trick to doing this one is to look where the entrance is going to be, and that's the way, whatever way the sheep is facing, you're going to teleport that way, and I'm going to turn, which way am I, where'd it go? So for this case, it's facing this way. I want to go backwards, right? I believe.
And I didn't want to make players do the whole thing, so I added a little trapdoor here.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is if you hit the lever back, it actually places in the middle section, in the end stained glass, it actually fills it back up. So the lever is toggleable. Is that the right word?
Yeah. It doesn't reset with the main reset circuit for this map, but we made it toggleable so that we can... Good work.
Yeah, it's stuck in there. Okay, let's not solve it yet.
Yes.
But, yeah. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, this little view of this black with the kind of checkerboardy thing, were you just kind of going for a simplistic view? Is there an idea behind that?
I was just kind of going with a simplistic view. Originally I knew this needed to be a big room, and I was kind of low on ideas, and I sort of based it around the wool block. Like, I knew I had to have the wool block, and I had to have a big enough space around the wool block so you could walk around it, and then you have the cube surrounding it, of course. And outside of that, I just wanted enough room to not be cramped, so I made it that. And it was actually when I was adding lighting that I came up with these black bars. But I think it came together all right in the end.
And I think this actually is more reminiscent of an antechamber style than Portal, this room here.
Yeah, it does feel pretty antechamber, because you don't have stuff just floating in the midair in Portal. Alright,
here we are at the mechanics for the entire Portal puzzle. This is basically this section here. You can get to here by going creative. And the way you do that, we talked about this before. You need to set what I've got typed here, scoreboard player, set your name, Puzz Creative 1. If you do that, you will be able to avoid the serious room. But I guess first off, let's talk about Wither Skulls, because that's how originally you had this mechanic. And we're not talking about Wither Skeleton Skulls, not the thing in the creative menu, but the Wither Skull. Explain what the Wither Skull is.
The Wither Skull is an entity that a lot of map makers used to use as a dummy entity before we had armor stands. Basically, it's a thing that's just in space and invisible, and it doesn't have a hitbox. You can use it as a marker, essentially. And the Wither Skull had a special property where when you summon it in, it would automatically teleport to the middle of a block, like the portals do. So let's say I shoot a portal on this block here. You'll notice the sheep appears in the middle of the block above it. And that's a mechanic I needed for portals, because otherwise the sheep would appear halfway inside the wall, and then if you try to enter the sheep, you phase out of the wall, and it was a big mess.
So, then they drop support for Wither Skulls, and
they removed them at the last minute.
Oh boy. Okay.
So yeah, I was trying to work around, find other things I could do, because this is before we had armor stands, and even if we did have armor stands, that would be useless for my needs.
It didn't work the same, no.
Yeah, so I did things, like I had a thing where if they're embedded in the ground, it would teleport them up slightly, or it would detect like where the walls are, try to teleport them away, but it really didn't work. And in fact, if you watch the Yogscast playthrough, when they phased out, that was because they were using the old version, although it's probably a good thing they phased out when they did, but we'll get to that later.
That was in the first two, I think version 3, the third update, we had fixed it to your method here.
Yes, the new method, which I will explain. So, as you can see, there's 2 comparator clocks here, basically, and this redstone block only gets placed when this puzzle starts. Originally, they were fill clocks, but it caused lag, so comparator clocks.
Okay.
So this is the mechanic that places the redstone. Basically, or the portals. So basically what it does is it, if you look, it activates from this side to this side.
Okay.
So it detects if there is a sheep. I don't know why I did this on this side. This is a remnant of the old system. It's actually not necessary, but it does something.
Okay.
And it basically takes the most recently shot arrow with a score of portal arrow min 1, which I just find out what the score is for the arrow by the damage. Basically, the bows have different damage enchantments.
Oh, okay. So the orange and the blue have different damages.
Because that way I can give the arrow a score, which I actually do over. This is the thing that starts it. It detects that the arrow is there with the correct damage, and in a material, which you see, it says in data 0B, that means it only works if it's in a white block.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay,
or like
so
a block without a damage value. Like it'll work on these redstone blocks, but it won't work on that.
You're actually setting the score of the arrow itself to whatever. Okay.
Yeah, and then I do the fill. So the arrow with that score, it creates an item frame at that location. And then in the same tick, it creates a portal at the item frame. Because the item frames, although offset, they do spawn in a very specific location each time you summon them. So I can use the item. And you can actually see that if you look at when I spawn this. The item frame is visible for just a second.
Okay, let me see. Oh, I didn't see it. Fire it.
It's a little tricky to see.
Yeah, that's real tricky. I'm not seeing it. Okay.
Here, I'll try over there.
How did you come up with the idea of item frames?
Well, I was just trying. I was desperate to get it fixed at that point, so I was trying every entity, and I finally found out that item frames do, in fact, correct. I actually tried ender crystals for a second there. That went badly.
Yeah, that would blow up pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, it creates the sheep, and then it kills off the arrow in the item frame, and that's how you have a portal. It's just a sheep with the name Orange Portal.
Right.
That's generating a few particles.
So you fire an arrow, it summons an item frame with a certain name, and then it summons the sheep at the item frame and then kills the item frame?
Yes, and the arrow.
Alright, and that's all happening because the order of these command blocks are laid out the way that the fill strip happens. Alright.
And this is a very simple way of doing it. The revised version's a lot better because it coordinates with which direction you're facing and all that. But basically, all I do here is there's a score called portal cooldown. And this portal cooldown score is constantly increasing because it's actually on a stat, the play 1 minute stat, which increases once every tick because apparently 1/20th of a second equals 1 minute.
Okay.
And it detects if it executes at the portal constantly to see if there is a player that qualifies to go through it within a certain range of the...
if you're standing in the sheep, it'll teleport you. That's what you're saying.
So if you're standing in the sheep, it activates this thing.
Okay.
And basically what it does is it sets your portal cooldown score to 0, and portal arrow is the score I use. I use the score not only to detect which portal the arrow is supposed to create, but which portal the player is going through, just in case something happens there. But So I set the portal cooldown to 0, which means they won't be able to go through a portal for another 2 seconds. And
Okay.
then I just teleport them to the other sheep.
Now,
And
I
that's
noticed
it.
here you have now Qwerty made this a long time ago, so I'm going to see if he remembers this. But I noticed you have the player set at P instead of at A, so you can't send
Yes.
2 players through at the same time.
Yeah, you can't send 2 through at the same time because then it might the execute would get a little wonky if you do it with more
Okay.
than one player. So yeah, for safety, I had to make it only one at a time.
Okay. All right, so it's a little complicated, but I kind of get it. Hopefully, other people do. Yeah. So then after you've done that, like, what's the rest of this stuff here?
Well, that's pretty much it as far as that goes. This is all part of the door mechanic.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, so that's it as far as the portals go.
So
Speedy thing goes in,
basically,
speedy thing comes out.
you're not actually detecting it on white stained clay. You're just detecting any type of damage value of whatever. You could set this clock up and just start firing at any default block,
Yeah,
I guess.
any block with a damage value of 0, the portals will work on.
You got clay there, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. This is a set of 4 notes that's not hooked up to anything. It
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
I don't remember that from the map, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So,
So
anything else about this?
Oh, that's it for the actual portal mechanics, but this is
Yep.
just what happens when you finish the level. It's very simple.
Okay.
It sees if you have the arrow. If you do have the arrow, it lets you go to the next level. And if you don't have the arrow, it doesn't let you go to the next level. It says...
You've thought of everything.
Yeah, because if you don't have the arrow, that means the person that solved it isn't the person that has the
Not
portal gun.
Not arrow. Singularity generator.
Yeah, singularity generator or something.
What is that? Singularity.
If you look in the
generator.
lore, it says or something. I don't know. I was just
That's
pulling
brilliant.
things out of nowhere at that point.
Well, I guess that
you
is
need
the
a singularity for a portal gun mod, so singularity generator. You need it for the portal gun to work.
Okay, well,
because infinity still requires an arrow. Yeah, that's about it for the mechanics, actually.
Yeah. Right, that is about it for the portal. So again, if you have any questions, Qwerty can try to answer them if we remember. Again, you built this probably actually a year ago, really.
It was a long time ago.
But anyway, I guess that's it, what we're going to do for this. Now, next episode, we are going to go over some of the Easter eggs, the serious room, the hint system, like the stuff that's kind of throughout the whole map, not just puzzle specific. Yep. But I guess any last words, sir?
Never shoot a spaceship that is much larger than yours, because it will end badly.
That's from personal experience, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Enjoy your Minecrafting and have a great day. Okay, so before we go into it, we're going to show some spoilers and stuff, so definitely play the map before you watch this video. And also check out the other episodes, because we went over all the other... Where'd you go?
My game crashed. Just keep going, keep going. I'll be back in a jiffy.
I will wait for you. I don't know whether to keep that or not.
And we're back. Seamless.